No streaming. Okay, we're not streaming live on YouTube. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna start the beginning part and streaming through. But done redirecting to YouTube. Okay, see what's going on here. See how bad of a delay it is. Pretty bad delay. Okay, I don't want to actually watch that, so let me shut that thing down.
We are live now.
Yep, see it. So what's how bad the delay on this? Yeah, pretty far. Watch that, so let me shut that thing down.
I can see you.
Okay, I'm gonna start this then.
We are live now.
Yep, see it. So what's how bad the delay on this? Yeah, pretty far. Watch that, so let me shut that thing down.
I can see you.
Okay, I'm gonna start this then.
We are live now.
Yep, see it. So what's how bad the delay on this? Rob, hit stop.
I can see you.
Okay, I'm gonna start this then.
We are live now.
Yep, see it. Hit stop.
All right, what are we doing?
How's that? I can fix that in post. We can fix it in post.
We fixed that in post, yeah. Anyway, so we're back here, America. We're on Media Blackout Live, episode 3. Sitting here with my lovely producer, co-host, Andy West. Say hello, darling.
Hi, nice to meet you.
We got a lot of talk to you about tonight. We just before we started the intro, we were just talking about some of the things like we can't say the C virus. We have to call it the beer virus tonight. Okay, so if anybody's watching, we refer to the beer virus, obviously, you know what we're talking about. Got a bunch of other topics. We got another creepy Uncle Joe's back in the news. You
have to call him what, a non-consensual fluid sharer?
Yes, for non-consensual fluid sharing, which this woman came out. Have you noticed though that none of the major media outlets, except, and not even really Fox News because they're too busy covering the beer virus, none of them are covering this Joe Biden thing.
They're doing it on purpose. Even the Me Too movement, the what is it? Time's Up or whatever the organization.
Yeah,
it's sort of
Time's Up.
They won't even touch it. They actually told Tara Reid that she would they couldn't help her with it because they'd lose their nonprofit status. Like, what's the point of your existence if you can't help somebody out with this situation? But I guess it's all great unless it's neoliberal.
Well, I guess Biden met this woman back in the 90s, whatever.
She was a staffer, yeah.
Yeah, bringing her a gym bag, and he I guess he forced her up against the wall and slid it.
Yeah.
Hey, it would be cool if it was like a low budget pornographic movie, but in real life shit like that, just doesn't happen. I've ordered millions of pizzas in my life, and not once has the pizza man ever come over my house and tried to seduce me or get it on me. So really, Joe, I don't know what you were thinking. He's like, well, you got my gym bag, and all of a sudden the wah pedal starts like wow, wow.
Yeah, just positions of power. It's the same thing with Weinstein. Same with Trump. Same with power corrupts. Power corrupts absolutely, and that's what we deal with.
Well, and that's the thing. It was like the South Park episode. It's like, what causes these men Money. They have huge amounts of money. Look what happens when we give a chimpanzee huge amounts of money. You know, and then the one chimpanzee wife comes over. She's got her hair up in rollers with the rolling pin. She beats the crap out of the other monkey. But anyway, so I guess Biden, you know, he's not saying anything. This woman came out, and I guess she went to Kamala Harris and she went to Pocahontas with it, and they both said, you know, we don't care. So I guess it's like hashtag Me Too, unless it's not they're furthering their personal agenda, their political agenda. So I really don't know, you know, if this is going to get covered. I mean, Joe, you ever notice that, like, with all these, you know, with all these, you know, Democrat guys, like, remember Gary Condit? He was like that missing girl, Deshandra Levy, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know, it's the big story. And then all of a sudden 9/11 happened. Man, that guy must have been like sending you know, money to the 9/11, you know, or all the terrorist bombers, you know, commissary.
The CIA. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, when they were in jail, like, thank God for doing that, because it took the heat off of me and all the attention off of me. So, I don't know. Anyway, the other thing too is, now, you know what I think might happen is our governor, Andrew Cuomo. Now, I got to say, I don't like the guy. Never liked the guy. He's a leftist, you know, really leftist.
No, I'm really leftist. He's neoliberal. Yeah.
Okay. That's true. I will give you the top leftist in my life. Of people I know. Can't say that you're number one in the world, but of everyone I know. But that doesn't mean I love you any less. Now, he's doing a really good job with his press conferences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's yelling about Trump like, we need these ventilators and these respirator masks, and what's going on. And what I'm finding now is they could have bought 16,000 of them 2 years ago. But what does Uncle Andrew decide he wants to do? He wants to build an empty, you know, microchip factory in Utica, which is literally, you know, an hour from here. I mean, it's an hour away.
But if you're going to go back through and look at all the things they get about, okay, the pandemic response was on the federal level. That's the federal level. That's why it coordinates. That way we don't end up having states outbidding each other for trying to buy these things. Yeah, sure, they could have stocked up on all kinds of stuff, but it wasn't. This was already established by the feds. When the feds took supremacy, they said, we're going to take care of this. We have a stockpile. We're going to buy all this stuff. Then it just didn't get replenished. That's basically what happened. You can't be blaming the states for something like that. Like, he could have, we could have all gone out and bought ventilators on the open market 2 years ago. But there was actually some people there whose responsibility it was to do that. And that was Trump's. That was his administration. He's been president now for nearly 4 years. You really can't be pushing anything more on anybody else.
Well, okay, and of course you can't blame it 100% on Trump, because no other president had bought them before that. Not
Bush, no.
No one.
No. Obama did too. He did too. The last H1N1, Ebola, all these other things about pandemics that came before this, they were all contained. They were all stopped because massive international cooperation. And there was, if you read the playbook, the actual, it was written up by the Obama administration, the playbook for pandemics, how to deal with it. And the reason why the other pandemics didn't destroy our country. And I don't like it. I liked Obama. I like everything he's ever said and almost nothing he's ever done. But the pandemic response team, the playbook that they wrote, if they'd have been followed, we'd all be fine right now. And we'd be joking about this disease that almost happened, but didn't hit here, because it would have been stopped. That's how they did SARS. SARS is just as contagious as this one is. This one's a little deadlier than SARS, but we were able to contain it. They contained it almost immediately.
I say this is slightly more deadly than SARS.
It's slightly more deadly, but it's not any more contagious.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. Okay, couple of points. Nobody had been stockpiling these things like they should have been.
No. They had. Those things get depleted over time.
Then where are they? Where have they gone? They've got depleted over time. The government, like I said, the government has warehouses. When I
USAID's been sending it out to everything that's been going wrong for years now. So for the last 3 years, every time anything popped up anywhere else, USAID was sending it off to them. So that's how it got depleted. That's how we got empty shelves. And if Trump saw the empty shelves a while ago, he should have filled them. Sorry, but that is on him. That is his administration not doing things, because he brought mediocre people to handle the positions of exceptional people and replaced them all with his loyalty group. None of his loyalty group can do shit. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're idiots, and they dropped the ball on this one. It is literally them. Firing the pandemic response team was a huge one. Getting rid of the national security level response leaders. And yeah, that was Bolton, and that was all Bolton, but Trump let him do it. And Bolton should have been hung at the Hague years ago.
Well, okay. Let's bring back the guillotine, definitely, like
Yeah.
that song. Who's that guy who's saying Trevor Moore? His name
Trevor
is?
Moore. Yeah, it's time
That's
for
a funny
guillotines.
song. If anybody ever watching gets a chance to check out his video, Trevor Moore, bring back the guillotine.
No, it's time for guillotines.
It's time for guillotines. Okay, whatever it is, it's worthwhile watching that. But okay, so now I'm watching the news clips. When I was at your house, Trump was calling for a travel ban. Everybody was calling Trump at the time xenophobic, and I remember this specifically because I was sitting on your couch watching it all unfold on my laptop. Okay. So he's xenophobic. He wants to close the borders. Oh no, we don't close the borders. We can't do that. And he wanted to do it. What was it? January 28th.
Yeah, but that was
Right after I
his,
got there.
his was not his. This is from a long history of him wanting to close the borders to everybody anyway. So the guy cried wolf. I mean, he wants to close borders, and this time he had a good reason. And everybody's like, no, you're just being racist, because we got used to saying you're just being racist, dude. Sorry, but you try 6 or 7 times to do that. You funnel money away from everything else in the government to this border wall that's going to do no fucking good. And after a while, people just don't believe you when you say you have any good reason for it. That's straight up.
Okay. But let me pose it to you this way. Say we did have an Obama or a Hillary Clinton. Now, if Hillary Clinton in January 28th said, hey, we got to close the borders, what would they have done? Oh, yes, we got to close the borders. So
It'd be the first time she suggested, yeah.
Yeah, the first time she said they'd have been on their knees kissing her ass. Okay.
No, okay. But look at how Trump. You got to look at the framing of all of it. It's not just saying want to close the borders. She's never wanted to close the borders. She's all about open borders. So neoliberalism. So if she comes out and says we need to close the borders, people can go, oh shit, that's not something she would normally want to do. Trump has been saying it since the first day he took office. He wanted to close the borders and get rid of shithole countries and stop anybody coming from this country, just for his own arbitrary whim. So yeah, he's not going to. There's no way he could say something like that without it coming across to everybody as he's just playing the same game again. He's just playing the same game again. Plus, if it had gotten here on the 28th, too late. If you shut it down on January 28th, we already had people in the country at that point. And
it's
tried
true.
as fast.
It's true.
Already too late for that.
It was, and they were fighting him and calling him this and good. Even Justin Trudeau in Canada says, "Oh, we're not closing our borders because that's xenophobic." Matter of fact, I was just watching the news reports from YYZ. The Rush song YYZ.
Yeah.
The beat, that's the Morse code for YYZ for the Toronto airport. Okay. So there was a news report from Toronto, people coming in off the planes, not wearing masks, not being screened. So they've closed down Roxham Road, which is this border crossing. In New York and Canada, some places the border is, there's nothing there. It's just like, okay.
A hedge, yeah.
Yeah, basically, it's like you're standing on this side, okay, of this line, and you walk 10 feet this way, you're in Canada.
Yeah.
So, like where my son lives in Vermont, it's so close to Canada that you might as well be in Canada. You get Canadian TV, you get Canadian radio stations. When I'm cruising in my car up there, I got to keep hitting the scan button because all I keep getting is these bunch of French speaking, radio stations from Montreal and stuff. So up there, they've closed that. They've stopped all that coming across Roxham Road. But a bunch of people, crossing from New York 6 months ago, okay, what do you want? Just come on in. So having an open border is not a good idea just for this reason. Okay. You never know when there's going to be some type of viral crisis. When my father was the principal of the school down in the city, they got all these kids coming in from different countries. Like there was a lot of immigration from Africa back then. These kids would be coming in, they'd have dengue fever, and they'd have to put them, they would quarantine them. They put them out on Governor's Island, because there was no, just come on in. Hey, it doesn't matter. And what happened to him 40 years ago? They call him Archie Bunker. They call my dad a racist. Okay. For just saying, why are we allowing people into the country who haven't had a medical examination? You don't know what people have when they come in. So yeah, maybe closing the borders probably a good idea. Probably would have been a good idea. Maybe we should have closed the borders, I don't know, last summer. That'd probably been a great idea because this shit Corona, oh damn it, I said it. This beer virus has been around. Now they're saying it's been around. They've known about it for a year, and now China.
No, there's a year that's I haven't actually seen those things. I'm pretty much reading everything I'm in China right now. China's been lying about a bunch of stuff. Their death tolls in Wuhan. They have 7 crematoriums, each one capable of burning 1,500 people a day. And those things have been going nonstop, 24 hours a day for the last 3 months. That's their actual death toll.
In China, or in that area, there's been like, I think 21 million cell phone subscriptions canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Who are all these people canceling their cell phone subscriptions all of a sudden?
Yeah, but no, well, they probably just canceled everyone because the news coming out of Wuhan since they started opening up the Hubei district, province. The information's starting to leak out. And, people are going, what they said, 2,500 people died in that whole thing. Like, no way. There's these crematoriums. When they're calling in morticians from all over the country to help work out in the crematoriums. Like I said, 7 times 1,500 a day for 3 months. How many bodies is that? And they're still going full tilt.
I'm really bad at arithmetic in my old age, but say 1,500 bodies a day,
times
and
7.
we'll just times 7. So that comes to 7,000. So 7 plus 3,500 is
10,050, 500 a day.
Yeah. Okay. Times, let's say
90. Let's say 100. Say 100. Say it doesn't make it even.
100 days. Okay. So yeah, that's what 170, whatever. Like
10
I
million.
said,
Something like that. It's crazy. It's
a
large
lot.
Number. Yeah.
It's a lot. Here we are. Can't figure out. I'm like, I got my shoes off so I can add up my can I do higher arithmetic. I got to use my toes here. But my point is, unrestricted travel between nations.
Unrestricted. There's not really unrestricted travel. It's real. If I wanted to go like when I went to Germany, it was a year ago, April 1st. I got a thing on my phone. It said, "Oh, this is a picture you took of yourself a year ago on April 1st when I went to Frankfurt for the music messe." Excuse me. 1,050,000. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Figure she's doing her cat. So I went to Germany. I mean, I got into the country. They looked at my passport. The guy's like, "What are you here for?" I go, "The music messe." He says, "Oh, okay." Going through security was one because I was all sweaty because I had a leather jacket and my wool coat on, and I was running. And I mean, as soon as I start moving, I start sweating. I sweat in a snowstorm. Put it this way, I'm an old guy. They're there putting the litmus paper on me, running it through the machine to see if and it's like, I hope that's not looking for marijuana in my blood system because, I mean, I exist on magical butter. It's part of my daily nutritional training regimen. But they checked me for explosives going through that airport, and just because I fit most general descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I guess did I look nervous? Yeah, I hate going on planes. And I was also not looking forward to being on a plane for like 9 hours. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's a long flight to Germany. I got to tell you. Mm-hmm. And it's not fun. Going there wasn't bad. We were like on an Airbus AC380, which is like the biggest commercial jetliner in the world. And there was rows of seats empty. So if you wanted to get your own, row of 3 seats and lay down, like this one girl that I met from Norway, she's like, yeah, I'm just good. She laid down, slept across 3 seats the whole time. And of course, my TV screen on the seat in front of me wasn't working. So I was basically sitting there going like, okay, what the hell am I going to do for 8 hours?
Move to another seat.
I was about to, but I'd already been comfortable. I was just like, I don't want to get up. I was near a bathroom. I was like, okay, I'm good. Coming home though, we were on a 747. The thing was packed. There was a bunch of these Hasidic guys got on. Oh my God. It smelled like they hadn't taken a bath in about 6 weeks. I don't know why, but it was just like the body odor was, it was terrible. And not like, anti-Semitic or anything, but it's just like, wow. It was like the BO was awful. You could smell them like 2 rows back. And I was like, but anyway, getting through there, coming home, I hit the wrong button on the computer screen. It says, "Did you just come from FRA?" and I went to hit the yes button, but I hit the no button. So I had to get in another line and wait. Got to our customs agent guy. He goes, "What were you doing in Germany?" I go, "I was at the music messe." He says, "Oh, you're at a music festival." He says, "Okay, welcome home to America." You know, so there was no screening for anything. You know, if somebody had come through the customs with me who had some type of infectious disease, they could have just walked in because one, this hadn't been known about. Now, as soon as they knew about it, they should have done it. Meanwhile, they gave Trump all kinds of shit. I was just watching, I was watching Rachel Maddow. It was from January 28th when I was at your house. And she's like, "Well, isn't that xenophobic and all that stuff?" And, maybe
because he always has been. That's because he always has been. So nobody's, of course, nobody's going to believe it. There's a legitimate reason. It's called The Boy Who Cried Wolf. That's how it works.
No, not The Boy Who Cried Wolf. I mean, it's called doomsday prepping. Okay.
No. The Boy Who Cried Wolf is the old, the old Grimm's fairy tale.
Yeah, I
understand. For this reason, but that he's just lying. So finally, people just don't believe that he's not lying. So that's how it works. But yeah, so Trump coming up with it wouldn't matter because he just kept fucking up so much in the first half.
But the thing was, he wasn't lying about something like that. Okay, this time. But the whole thing is, do you want? I'm glad that they finally believed him this time. I wish they'd have believed him a year ago, because
a year ago this disease wasn't coming around.
I understand, but if we'd have been slowing down the travel, well, because of course travel between U.S. and China is not as restricted, and really the illegal immigration coming from Mexico, I don't think would have affected the spread of corona.
They have a lot less than we do. They have a lot less than we do. Yeah.
Well, actually, now Mexico is banning travel from United States into Mexico.
Of course, yeah.
So how about that? Why aren't we saying the Mexicans are racist for not letting
because
Americans?
we're suffering from a pandemic and there's an actual reason for it.
The thing is, here's
you're missing this. You're missing this. This is not the justification of all of Trump's xenophobic policies. This is mostly his administration's incompetence. But if he didn't lie constantly about everything, people might have believed him this time. If he hadn't lied off his ass to try and block other countries just to throw red meat to his base for 3.5 years, people would have believed him more. So there's all these reasons why nobody's going to believe him. Nobody's going to believe him because his dude lies fucking constantly about everything. And he also, worst thing he does, cannot take blame. Like if my kids had the same habit of his, if he's blaming other people every time it's his fault, I would have bricked my kids and started over by now.
Right. Well,
there's no fucking way I'm going to raise a person like that.
Right. Well, and one of my from one of my 12 steps, background is there is one thing. It's when you're wrong, you promptly admit it.
He never has.
Well, no, he hasn't. But the thing is, he hasn't been all that wrong. Now,
absolutely. He did it when he said he was contained, when he said we had a great containment, when he said 5 people, 15 people, the next week will be 0 people. All of this shit was while this shit is spreading massively. He actually literally limited the number of tests that were being produced and being handed out because he didn't want to have the numbers go up. Like not realizing that that's just going to make the numbers mushroom to the fucking hell. You got to realize that South Korea and us got our first known case on the same day. They handled it. We didn't. It's going to get so bad, dude. We're going to lose millions of people. There's no way. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Well, and I think since this has blown up, like, and getting back to Rachel Maddow, I know you're a huge fan of hers.
No, I can't stand Rachel Maddow.
I understand. I know you. I can't stand her either. But she's saying, "Oh, they're going to send the hospital ship. It's going to take weeks and not months," and it was there in a week.
Yeah.
So I
she's just the same person went Russia for fucking 3 years. Yeah, she's.
You gotta cut these people a little bit of slack right now because they are totally venturing into the unknown. They don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. The only people who know what's going on is the Chinese, and they're not telling anyone. Of course, the mainstream media in this country is, oh, well, China reports this. Why does the mainstream media trust China? That's the first thing I can't. Why does anyone trust China?
Because we're about the CIA, and the CIA has contacts on the ground in China who's backing the information up.
Chinese, believe me, the CIA in China is very limited in what they can do and the movement they can make, more so than any other country in the world.
Mhm.
The Chinese, I forgot who it was. It was this one guy. I think he was from Rebel News. He was in China covering something, and he found a memory card in his room. He's like, "This doesn't belong to any of us." And they got worried. They're like, "Wait, we don't know what's on this memory card, and we don't want to even attempt to take it out of the country because it could be something encoded on there." So
Yeah.
when they're going through, customs in the Chinese airport, the Chinese gram go, "Oh, what on this card? What's on this card?" You come with us. And next thing you know, you're sitting in a Chinese prison for 20 years because somebody planted something on you.
Yeah.
So you can't trust the Chinese. Okay. And I'm not racist against Asian people. I'm against China as a country. I love Asian people. Okay.
But we have toxic nationalism going on everywhere. Come on, really? And-
I have lots of Chinese American friends, lots of Japanese American friends. Was in New York.
You missed my point. Toxic nationalism is this whole, like, each one of the countries is basically lying about everything that's going on, like with Trump limiting the number of tests. Also the tests not working, and also sending Kushner in charge of anything, just fucking things up massively. But it's a toxic nationalism where we all just use our own tests. We want to share information with them. The reason why H1N1 was stopped cold, the reason why SARS was stopped cold, the reason why Ebola is just too lethal to really transmit far, because nobody's gonna live long enough for a plane flight. But the other ones, the reason why it was done was international cooperation. You have to have international cooperation, and this one with SARS, international cooperation. This one, no, this time, at this point, after the trade war between us and China for the last 3 years, after all the name calling, all the bullshit, and they're handling it, draconianly, but they're handling it. It would seem. We'll see what comes out of Dubai. Because right now, people are able to walk around. People do have their cell phones, and people are able to get past the Great Wall of China. It's any cyber wall is not going to fall if somebody's just committed enough. So information's coming out now, so we can actually see what's going on. Here, information still, we have the mainstream media, which is just, okay, once again, I'm gonna quote Harvard's in here, and this is the most important thing to remember, is that everything, the news is what they hide from us. Everything you've ever in your life seen on the news was advertising. So that's what we get. And our news is faker than any place else on the planet. Our news is just like Rachel Maddow, and then they push one trope. Like, they're the progressive news station, even though they're anti-Bernie, anti-progressives, anti-left, anti-all that stuff. They're just neoliberal corporatists. Straight up. Fox News is just neoliberal corporatists with a slight tinge of neoconservative fucking warmongers attached to it. But they're not nearly as warmongering as CNN is. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's all fake. It's all bullshit.
Let's just look at the difference in coverage between just one guy, Mike Lindell. You know Mike Lindell, Mr. My Pillow. I love Mike Lindell.
Another guy.
Mike, have you ever seen the ads for Get My Pillow mattress?
The guy Trump brought in for some reason, right?
Well, no, he didn't. He brought him in because the guy stopped his production of his pillows, and they're now sewing to his 75% of his manufacturing facilities are being used to sew together cloth masks, because now they're recommending everyone wear a mask. Fuck a cloth mask. I'm going to wear my goddamn gas mask. Okay?
Yeah. I'm building mine right now. Yeah.
Well, I'm putting, if you need a gas mask, let me know, because
of course I need it. Yeah, basically,
a few of you have a few of the German ones left.
I'll take it. Yeah. I gotta go shopping here eventually.
I have two that, well, geez, I don't know. Your kids are adult size too. Probably,
yeah, they're adult size.
But these are small. They're size 2 German men. I'll have to go look, see if I have size 1 and size 2, which size 1 is definitely a children's size, and size 2 would be for an older child or a woman, a smaller woman.
My face is not that big, but you call me fat?
No, I'm not calling you fat. I'm not saying. I'm just saying the different size. Fitting a gas mask to someone's face. Like in the Army, there was a lot of different size masks, and the NBC NCO would look at you and he says, "Oh, you're a size 3. Oh, you're a size whatever." And they gave me one that didn't really fit because they didn't have one in my perfect size, so they gave me one bigger. And I remember actually when the guy grabbed the filters on the side to see if my face was sealed, I actually pushed my face into his hands so it would seal up, with my skin, and I wouldn't bolo out on the NBC put your mask on test thing. So anyway, Mike Lindell's on, and I like Mike Lindell. His backstory is kind of messed up. Guy was a crackhead, okay? For years was a crackhead. He was telling his story on the radio. He was like living in a hotel room, and the crack dealers wouldn't sell him crack anymore because they were afraid he was gonna die. That's how bad was, but he pulled himself together. He pulled himself out of the shit. He started his My Pillow. He got into recovery. He found, you know what? If you're a heroin addict or a cocaine addict or whatever, and you want to say, hey, finding Jesus got me off of drugs, fine. I'm more than happy for you to have found your Jesus, found your religion, found whatever it is you found. As long as you're not doing that poisonous shit anymore, I'm really, really happy for you. Now, anyway, Mike Lindell, he's like, we made 10,000 the first day. We're going to be making 50,000 a day, you know, of these cloth masks. We're going to be shipping them out. Now, he's one guy in one factory. He's making 50,000, but that's 50,000 that weren't being produced last week. Yeah. So anyway, and then he said something about, you know, God bless and Jesus, whatever. And of course, the people on CNN were calling, oh, and Mr. Pillow said this. And I'm just like, okay, you guys, like, everybody's been saying since Trump got elected, if the guy found the cure for cancer, they would still impeach him for finding a cure for cancer.
No, impeach him for all the crimes he's committed.
All right. And like, they're not going to impeach Biden for all the crime. How about Hillary? How about?
Oh, no, they won't impeach. As you can see, they won't impeach any of them. They'll impeach, but they won't actually kick anybody out of office for these crimes. Of course not. We have criminals. Right. We have criminals running the system, and the two sides just argue. Literally, are just arguing for show in front of us because they're all paid by the same people. They all get paycheck from the same people. Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, the investments in his part. Okay, Fox News has a slightly different origin story than the rest of them, just because that was a tactic. There was a strategic partnership between him and Prince Alawid, basically the jihadist founder, the guy, the Saudi prince, Saudi Arabia, where all the Wahhabism comes from. That's where they got his founding, was between the rich guy behind Wahhabism and then the Australian dude made a news organization, and it was a strategic partnership. And once he achieved what he wanted to, Alawid bailed like 4 years ago. Okay. But that's how it has a different origin story. But now at this point, they're all paid by the same people. They're all CNN and Fox, MSNBC are all paid by the same people. Every one of them has a board of directors is made up of a banking exec, like a CIO. What is it? CBS has got the president of the CEO of JP Morgan. Is sitting, not JP Morgan, Chase is sitting on yes, Bank of America, the guy from Bank of America sitting is the chairman of the board on CBS. Each one of the boards is a weapons manufacturer, a pharma guy, a health insurance guy. That's what runs every one of these organizations. So they're basically just arguing and showing different biased stuff just to keep us arguing and believing in different biased stuff. That's all. It's just all fake.
Okay. Not really
inside.
So okay, bring up Rupert Murdoch. I see you, Rupert Murdoch, and I raise you one Ted Turner. Okay.
Ted Turner doesn't know anything anymore.
That's true. He's probably an old incontinent man at this point. But
yeah.
Don't think that Ted Turner didn't pull the same shit as any of them.
Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that?
I know you did. The issue is not who's a criminal. The issue is that my parents are 80 years old in a nursing home. My dad has been locked in his room for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. He hasn't been allowed. They let him out of his room. He walked down the hall by himself, and he went into another room that was unoccupied. So they had a band set up outside of this adult. He lives like in an assisted living residence. And they set a band up outside, and the band did a little concert from outside, and all the old people went to the window and watched. My mother's in a nursing home, and they let her out of her room. She can go down the hall, but my mother never really leaves her room anyway. But the thing I'm afraid of is, I've been to that nursing home, and, they're nice people. I've worked in nursing homes, and I know nurses are some of the filthiest frigging people that you'll ever meet. I mean, now, of course, everybody's like totally like, and wash your hands, infection control, all that. But, excuse me, I got to stop smoking these things. That's why I'm not going out of the house, because I've been smoking for so long. I get corona. Damn it. Beer virus. I get beer virus. I'm going to be dead in 2 hours after I get it. So, because I've been smoking since I was 14 years old. So whatever you're doing, everybody, don't smoke anymore. It's not the coolest thing you can do. So anyway, my mother's sitting in this place, and I'm just like, one of these girls is going to go to the Walmart. She's not going to be careful.
That's how it works, yeah.
And so I'm really worried about this. I mean, I went to Walmart, any of the canned stuff. Mm-hmm. I actually quarantined all the canned stuff. I left it in the back of the car for a week in order if like any of the beer virus was left on it.
Yeah, I spray everything down that comes here, yeah.
Well, you should. You definitely should. Any of my perishable shit, like I got
Also mail, also packages come in like that way, everything.
Mail, right? Well, my mail stays quarantined in my mailbox usually for a few days anyway.
Yeah, mine's been in there for a week. Yeah,
right. And before I go out and look at it, so you know, we don't know. We don't know how long this lives on metal. They don't know for sure how long it lives on paper. They don't know for sure.
Well, the CDC reports coming out of coming off the cruise ships were saying like 17 days on metal and plastic.
Right. So that's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, over 2 weeks. Yeah,
or more. That I've got to leave. I've had a case of Hormel chili in the back of my car now for about 2 weeks, waiting because I'm afraid to bring it in the house. It was the last one on the shelf. There was a whole case of it, but it was the last one on the shelf. It was Hormel chili, no beans. And I'm like, it made me feel bad. Like nobody likes Hormel chili. But then again, it was the last one there. So I just grabbed it because I love Hormel chili. As a matter of fact, this is what I use as ashtrays on my desk. If you can see, I have my 2 butt cans. And it's great because when one gets full, you just throw it out and start to pour a little water into the bottom of the next one. And you start using that one. It's like, I
have a couple cases of the same stuff. Yeah.
Well, so I eat Hormel chili all the time. I make chili dogs, I make
but that's just because canned food,
Well, I always no, actually I always have Hormel chili. Always. I mean, I'll go through 2 or 3 3 or 4 probably a month because I'll make like chili dogs once a week, or if I make tacos, I don't really have the wherewithal to physically.
You don't seriously put Hormel chili in tacos, do you?
Yeah, I put the Hormel chili no meat in my taco.
There's a special help for you.
Well, I know. I take the Hormel chili and I put it into my saucepan, and then I like squirt in Sriracha sauce on top of it. I stir it up, and then I put my lettuce and my cheese and my tomato on top of my salsa, and that's how I make my tacos. Yeah, it's just easier than having
Frito pie tacos. Yeah.
Well, it's easier than having to get the meat and actually cook meat. And then strain the grease off and all that because it's always. Yeah, I've been living by myself my whole life, so I have these little single guy hacks, that I've come up with. But anyway, so back to the point is, I really don't see this ending anytime soon. And they're like, well, I talk to my drummer all the time from Flux Capacitor, and when this started, he's like, we're out till April 15th. I go, okay, a month. I said, I don't think you're going back. And I don't think they think they want to open back up in June, but that's just so the graduating class can have graduation and prom and stuff like that. But really, I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
I have a feeling the country's going to be shut down until school starts probably next September.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That depends on how it is. And at this point, the strategy involved, what they're doing is just trying to slow it down. They're not trying to stop it by any means. This is 100% infection rate. Well, everyone in the country will get it at some point. They're just trying to spread that as much as possible to give us time to get treatments, any type of treatment for the symptoms, treatment to just mitigate the lung damage that's happening, the heart damage, the kidney damage, all that damage. And also to hopefully come up with a vaccine. But even then, there's going to be a lot of people dying. There's going to be a ridiculous number of people dying.
And that's my personal issue is I'm staying home by myself because I know eventually I'm going to catch this thing.
You want some type of treatment?
I don't want to catch it. I'll be more than happy to catch it once there is a treatment for it, and like, okay, give me the chloroquine. Now, I got to tell you, the last show I did was right before lockdown. It was like the night before lockdown, okay, before quarantine. It was March 14th. It was like our kind of St. Patrick's Day thing. The week before, we played the Red Shed Brewery, which is a much smaller venue, but the place was packed. It was packed. There was probably 100 people there, okay? A week later, we played the Upstate Bar and Grill, which is a really popular place here in town. And, there was, I'd say, maybe 30 people there. It wasn't a lot of people. It was a good show, but I was just saying to everybody, like, this is much more serious than we think it is. Does anybody want a gas mask? I got, a couple. I got set. Well, I don't know exactly how many I have, but I always figured I had about 10 or 12 on hand, probably less now because I've given a couple away to friends of mine. I said, "Do you want?" "Oh, we don't really think we need one." And it's like, okay, well, the next day, boom, door slammed shut. Okay. I was just because I was talking to a couple of my Lebesian women friends at the bar, and they were there. They have their own little farm, together out in the countryside, probably about 15 miles outside of Cooperstown, which is the biggest town around here. Let me find my jar of juice because my ashtray is burning. But anyway, hold on. I have a drink. I got my Gatorade in my.
Oh, okay. I totally thought it was. No, I didn't realize it was Gatorade. I was like, "Is that window fluid?" Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I just made my Gatorade in a 1 gallon orange juice bottle because it's easier. It's like 4
I didn't realize you could make Gatorade.
Yeah, you can buy the powder. I always keep powdered drink mix in stock because it's all sugar, so it stays good pretty much forever. So I just keep that as a doomsday preparation thing. Now, and here's the thing, okay? These girls asked me, they said, we're really thinking we want to buy a gun. And this was before, and I swear to God, the news about people panic buying guns started the following Monday.
Yeah.
And they're like, what gun? And I put up a video. They asked me which gun should they get. And in New York, you really can't own an AR-15. You can get one that's modified. So you actually have to take the thing apart before you can take the magazine out and put a fresh magazine. And you got to put it back together and slap your takedown pin back in. It's painting. So that's out. So I went through a bunch of different scenarios. I said, best thing for you girls to get, excuse me, is a 12 gauge Remington 870 pump shotgun.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course now they really want to get into an AR-15. And I was just like, you're not going to find one. You can't find the parts to build one.
Yep.
Okay. But they actually were smart. They went out that Monday and they found a used Remington 870, which I've got parts that I'm going to go over and just, spruce it up a little bit, make it a little bit more quote unquote tactical, basically put a little magazine extension on it, and change the old wooden furniture out on it. I got some plastic stuff.
I like the wooden, no, go and keep the wooden.
No, well, it's all chipped up. It looks like shit,
No, you can clip somebody with it. Plastics, you can bounce off somebody's head.
No, the plastic stuff's actually better because it won't crack. I've actually split open a fore end of a Remington 870. I wasn't splitting over someone's head, but I put it up to block some, and and it's a long story. But anyway, the wooden ones will shatter. They'll get dented. They're susceptible. If you get them wet, they swell up. They contract. So I just said, look, I got some old parts here. I always have parts. When I go out, on my little shopping trips, I go to the gun shops and I look through the junk bin, and some people come in like they'll buy a Remington 870 with, already has the plastic furniture on it, but they want Magpul furniture. So they take off a perfectly good set of Remington furniture, they throw it into the junk bin and they put the Magpul furniture on. Yeah. So I go and I get a fore end for $5 and I get a butt stock for $5. So when somebody wants theirs changed out, I say, look, I'll charge you $15 for the fore end, $15 for the butt stock, and $5 to put it on. And, this way I make myself a couple of dollars being a good Samaritan, but not say, that I'm not entitled to cut a profit on this stuff. So anyway, they went out and panic bought, and they found something. They found a used Remington 870, which is exactly what I told them. Yeah. My one friend's store, he's got no more inventory. Mm-hmm. Okay. 3 weeks, close them out. You can't find a bullet around here, so I mean, you can't find ammunition. Sportsman's Guide. You want to talk about price gouging? This stuff here. I got this. Said American Eagle value pack, $21.99, and it was a 100-round box. I bought this. It was at a place called
Herb's. Ginger.
There's Ginger.
Hey, Ginger, what's happening?
You on with us, Ginger?
Oh, you have to unmute your microphone. Let me see if I can unmute you from here.
There she is. What's up, honey bun?
Sorry. Oh, you're at Walmart and battling the masked people at Walmart.
Nice. Let me see. Your audio is a little bit cutting out a little bit. So, what are you using for audio? Headphone?
Yeah, I got the headphones in.
Okay, cool. Now I can hear you. You're good.
Yeah, just make sure that the microphone's not like up against your shirt or inside of it and stuff. But so anyway, Ginger, we're just talking about my two Lebesian friends. I gave them some advice on firearms purchases. Well, I mean, here's the thing: everybody ran out and started panic buying guns. There's nothing left. My one friend in Texas said he went to the gun store. He said they had like one Sig that they didn't like, and they had like two single stack Glocks left. That's all they had in the store, and some other hokey, bolt action stuff. Really not going to be all that effective in a doomsday, civil unrest situation. So this is the point where us prepper people are sitting back going, "Hey, we hate to say we told you so, but we told you so." So that's what it's come down to. Now, the analogy I'm trying to make, which I started probably 20 minutes ago, is
Lost track of it. Yeah.
why hasn't the government and New York State and everybody else been doomsday prepping for exactly this? Okay.
Oh no, there are levels and hierarchies, and there are agencies that have positions that do these type of things. Yes.
And who could have ever foreseen this?
Everybody, every disaster consultant that's ever lived could have foreseen this. It's pretty simple.
Well, yeah, exactly. We should have seen it. I mean, it was just a matter of time before something like this happens. And I love people all my life have been telling me, "Oh, it's never going to happen." Anything I've ever said, like, "Oh, we're going to get laid off." You're not going to get laid off. What happens? You got laid off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's never going to happen. What I learned during the last ammo shortage, and it was only an ammo shortage because of the Sandy Hook thing, right? And all the talk about banning bullets and banning assault, quote unquote, assault weapons. Everybody went out and started, you couldn't find a box of 22s. Okay. And the price ammo, a case of federal, 5.56, which is usually somewhere around 300 a case. I wish I'd have bought 10 cases of it in 2000. I guess it was 2001, right after 9/11. I bought a few thousand rounds of ammunition, and I got the federal white box match stuff. I was getting it for 125 a case. I should have bought a dozen cases of it back then. Well, anyway, this stuff usually goes for about 300 to 335 bucks, anywhere between 30 cents and 35 cents a round, right? Mm-hmm. Sportsman's Guide, it was like $700 for a case. I saw one case of 1,000 rounds of 9mm MagTech, okay, which is pretty crappy ammunition. I mean, I have it, and it says right on my box, it says not for law enforcement use.
Yeah.
They wanted over $800 for a case of 1,000. I usually get the crap for about 18 cents a round. This stuff I bought at Herb Phillipson's. It said $21.99, but I bought it when it was on clearance at 50% off. So I got it for, instead of $22 a box, I got it for, $11 a box, which brought it down to 11 cents a round. I bought out their existing stock. When Walmart was having their clearance because they got rid of all the pistol and quote unquote assault weapons ammunition, I bought out the existing stock of 9mm and 5.56 and 308 and 7.62 by 39 in about 4 different Walmarts. And everyone's like, "You're nuts, you're nuts, you're nuts." What happens 3 months later? Boom. So, I mean, yeah, have I hedged my retirement fund with lead? Yeah, I did, but am I getting?
What is higher exchange rate? It does have higher exchange rate. Like I said, I got rid of my guns when I had kids just because toddlers are deadly.
Yeah.
But I've never been anti-gun. Right before the Brady Bill went into effect, I hit a gun store and picked up 2 cases of SKSs and 50,000 rounds of ammo for like $80 a case.
me being a felon, I don't own a gun, or I would if I could, but I don't. So yeah. I had to come up with creative ways, of protection aside from having a firearm, So there's always, a can of aerosol, anything, and a lighter. That works great.
It's really close quarter though. We're going to be shot at by people that are on the horizon. Sucks.
Yeah, I'd be careful, Ginger, with the aerosol because that flame can go back inside the can, and next thing you know, you're holding a hand grenade.
I've tried blowing up those cans my whole life, and no, they don't blow up.
Yeah, no, I've been pretty good with them.
I'd be careful with that, honey. I don't want to see you lose your eyebrows.
Oh no.
In an all of a sudden flare. So how you been, Ginger? What's been going on?
Well, aside from all this craziness that's happening,
Yeah.
today I had to go see the orthopedic and I got 3 steroid shots of my elbow because I have tennis elbow and it's in a lot of pain. It's supposed to
Ow.
subside in a couple days and it's not subsiding right now. So
So when you went to the doctor, what were they using any specific precautions or anything? What was
oh
it
yeah,
like?
there was absolutely nobody in the orthopedic office at all. The nurse met me at the door, took my temperature to make sure I have a fever, asked me if I prefer to wear a mask or not, and then she had me go in, and there was nobody in the waiting room. They got me in and out right away. There was like nobody there, absolutely nobody there.
And they got you right in, right out.
Yeah, it was like maybe 20 minutes tops that I was there.
That's the one good thing about this. No long waiting lines, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, it was nice, and there's no cars on the road, so the medical transport driver didn't have any problem getting me there in time. I was there really early, and it was awesome.
Yes. I saw my doctor 3 weeks ago and same thing. Yeah. Met me at the door, checked the temperature, asked me if I had a cough, went in, saw her, left. That was, yeah, there's nobody there. It's creepy touching doorknobs though. It's kind of creepy touching doorknobs.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, I tell you what. When I went to the little coffee shop the other day, and I didn't have my my little hidden body cam that I bought. I didn't have it running, but I actually walked in with my green face, my green gas mask on, and people didn't say anything. They just kind of looked at me a little funny. But I was like, hey, I don't want to catch this thing. Like I said, I'm in bad shape. Okay, especially when it comes to breathing. Anybody, like you said in your little your little
Rant?
the media blackout previously recorded video you put up, which was brilliant, by the way. Everybody liked it. If you ever smoked or done drugs or
Diabetes. So yeah.
yeah, whatever, diabetes, like my parents both are diabetic, which thank God they never smoked, but
I have lupus and cancer, so
Yeah.
that's a high risk right
Well,
there.
right, Ginger, you're extremely compromised. I mean, being a cancer survivor, or are you still going under treatment?
I'm still under treatment. I just started treatment actually.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
yeah, if I
And
were
I went to
you,
Walmart just a little while ago. I just got back from Walmart because I had to go get groceries. So,
how many people are in Walmart?
oh, that place was a shit show.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's crazy. And they want you to keep 6 feet away from everybody. So you're trying to walk down the aisle, but people are stopping and doing their normal shopping routine like they always do. And then you've got the people in there with the masks on that are all huffing and puffing because you're in their way. And it's ridiculous. It's crazy the way people are acting.
Yeah. It's going to blow up here any moment. Yeah.
Did they have toilet paper? That's what I want to know.
I actually didn't go near the toilet paper aisle.
Really?
My boyfriend works at Walmart, so we've been okay on the toilet paper stock, but there's been like people that are getting in fist fights over there for toilet paper, and then they push down a little old lady for spaghetti sauce. Like, it's crazy.
Well, it is Albuquerque. I mean, that's normal behavior in Albuquerque.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with this, with the beer virus. No.
Yeah, without beer. I mean, in Albuquerque, I was in the liquor aisle of the Walmart the first time I came out, and I was just standing there like looking like, wow, look at all this booze in Walmart. I just can't believe it, because in New York, you can't buy you can only buy liquor in New York in like a liquor store, and they don't sell beer in a liquor store. Because they can sell beer in a grocery store and a gas station, but you can only buy liquor and wine in like a liquor store. Like you can't buy wine in a grocery store in Vermont.
Same in Portland, same in Oregon. Yeah.
Right. So I was just amazed. Next thing you know, this dude comes over. He's like this security guard guy, armed with a gun, comes over and he's like looking at me like, "What are you doing, man? What are you doing?" And I'm like, I said, "I can't figure out what booze to buy. There's just so much of it here, you know." And so, but yeah, like I asked remember you sent me out for that magnifying glass thing?
Yeah.
I asked somebody who worked there. I said, "Do you have like a magnifying glass?" They said, "I don't know. You should just check arts and crafts." And I said, "Oh, okay, thanks." You know, it's like you said, welcome to Albuquerque. Fuck you.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, this place will make you hard. Where I grew up in North Carolina, and they say howdy. Like you're walking down the street and people say howdy. Here they tell you, what the fuck are you looking at? Like,
Yeah.
right away.
So Ginger, let me ask you, okay, you're coming on here now. We're gonna get off the beer virus for a minute. What do you think of the whole creepy Uncle Joe Biden situation?
I think that it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know too much about what's going on there, but I'm not big on the whole politics thing. Ever since all this started, I'm just like anti-establishment, anti-government. Like, I don't care.
Well, I mean, okay, they came out with allegations of sexual assault against
9 women so far. Yeah, 9 women.
Okay, only 9. I thought
Only 9. I thought it was a dozen, but I guess 3 of them got disappeared. Or Hillary, I don't know.
Hillary, right? They got Clinton.
Arkansas is a thing.
So yes, Arkansas, definitely. That's funny. So basically, you know, no one's in the major media outlets is really covering the whole Joe.
No,
Biden.
they're hiding it. They're completely hiding it. People like Neera Tanden are running cover for him. The Progressive American people who are not progressive in the slightest. They're running cover. Neera Tanden's actually, she's running cover right now, like all across the airwaves, covering for, she's also the one who basically kept, you know, she's the one who helped Hillary lose so drastically. She's an idiot political consultant for the DNC, makes billions. And she's running around saying, you know, that nobody can talk about this, nobody can talk about this, nobody can discuss this. And most of the stations are honestly afraid they're going to lose some form of access, they're going to get Arkansas themselves. They talk about these things. So yeah, nobody's bringing it up. Nobody's mentioned Joe Biden and the allegations, even though they were a year ago in April of 2019. This was making the papers because women were coming forward, and now that some seriously plausible, seriously believable, and seriously violent actions happened. He donated sperm to unwilling sperm recipients. You know, hardcore. And the same people that were so anti-Trump about it. And yeah, Trump is also the same way. This should disqualify both of them. But the fact that they're running against each other is insane.
Well, Trump got away with like the biggest fraud thing I've ever seen. Like, if that was you or me, that, you know, with that, the whole what's her name, the chick that he was banging, the
Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels, yeah. So he created a fake company to pay her off to keep her quiet.
Yeah.
And it was all over the news, you know, that he created the fake company to pay her off to be quiet. So that's what
Money
racketeering.
laundering.
That's racketeering. That's fraud. Okay, like anybody else in the whole world, we would have been in jail for some.
Just for that
like
alone, yeah. Plus that gets campaign finance law, plus everything else.
Yeah, anybody would have been in jail, but no, he's still president, and he's still, you know, buying his election right now as we speak, you know.
Yep.
The media is just going to push the Joe Biden thing underneath the rug too, because there's too much other crap going on right now, and they don't care.
And Joe Biden can't literally make it through a 2-minute interview without going completely Alzheimer's, and it's blatantly apparent that his mind is going. His mental decline is super fast. I don't know what they put him on for the one debate he had, where he was actually cogent and lucid, but the rest of the time he's out of it, man. And that's why they keep him hidden right now. That's why he's not coming out on interviews, because when he does, it's bad.
Well, now, Joe, yeah, I don't know his mental state. I mean, it's watching Joe Biden is kind of like talking to my dad sometimes. It's like he forgets what he's actually. My dad is slightly more coherent than Joe.
Yeah.
You know, my dad, he's like, and did you see what happened to that cabinet? And I was like, you've been asking me about this for the last 6 months, and I keep going and checking, and I still don't know what the hell you're talking about. He was telling me the other day, oh God, I love my dad. I love my dad more than anything. But he says, you don't need to buy a tiller. We already have a tiller. It's in the barn. And I said, I don't think you have one. He says, no, we have a tiller. It's in the barn. And I was like, I looked and I said, Dad, that's not a tiller. It's just a thing that sweeps up the grass clippings. And it's not actually a tiller. It is just like a lawn sweeper thing. A rototiller actually tears the ground up.
Yeah.
You know, so you can so listening to Joe Biden is like listening to my dad. Of course.
So I mean, my mental decline. Yeah.
My dad, they put my dad in an assisted living. Joe Biden should be in some type of assisted living. Of course.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Money. They'll have 24-hour staff. They'll turn his house into a goddamn, you know, little hot nursing home room like they did with Reagan and they did with everybody else. You know, when people get old, you know, these famous celebrity people, politicians, actors, actresses, you know, you don't see many of them ending up in nursing homes. They got enough money where they stay home.
Yeah.
And they have people come in and take care of them. Joe Biden he makes less sense than the dudes that I've met, you know, sitting down having breakfast with my father. So I really,
He's coming
you know,
in like Reagan went out. So yeah, it's kind of a problem.
basically he's coming in the same way Uncle Ronnie went out. Yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give me much confidence in it. Like you said in your thing, you know, in your media blackout previously recorded report the other night, what is the option? And it's Trump. Trump's going to win. Now, what do you think of this scenario? They're calling, like I said, I don't like the guy. I hate his stance on guns. He did that. He did this thing called the New York State Safe Act, which, you know, I mean, you can't buy ammunition mail order. You can't have ammunition mail ordered to New York anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, which is actually a violation of interstate commerce, but you know, so far they haven't gotten
Been challenged on it, yeah.
right. You know, because these things take years. But he put this legislation through in 2013. So the guy is pretty tyrannical. But right now he's scoring good PR because he's been on TV every day.
Yeah.
And so is Trump. So now what everybody's wondering is, are they going to run Andrew Cuomo?
They might swap him out. They might, but there's already somebody still running who's got, you know, it's literally, who should have the majority of the votes. But like I said, voting machines, the voting machines are off by double-digit numbers. So and they're unauditable, uncountable. Voting people come out of the exit poll report says that Bernie's winning by 8 points. Next thing you know, Biden wins by 8 points. 16-point differential between what people are saying they voted for and for what the machines are saying. And there's no way to check them because the voting machine industry is just completely fucking scandalous. But no,
well,
Bernie should become president. The DNC will never ever nominate Bernie. It's a given.
Here's have you noticed though that Bernie has been getting virtually no coverage?
Well, he's got no coverage. Bernie's on every day though. He's been on every day. He's converted most of his campaign into charity organization to help out people everywhere around the country. And he's been on every day talking to experts, every single day talking to experts on live streams like this. And I've been watching him, man. And if you want somebody that's presidential, that's on the ball and knows what he's talking about, yeah, him. He's got it. They're just not covering it anywhere. You haven't seen any of this shit, so don't even joke about it. You haven't seen any of this stuff.
I watch, and I you know, it's I go actually if you watch on YouTube, CNN and MSNBC and Fox, they're the three main ones. They have their YouTube channels, and I like actually watching it better on YouTube because it just cuts to the point. It gives you like the
I don't watch them. I don't have a TV.
Right, the 5 or 10 minutes. Either. But because the thing is, if you're watching it on regular TV, unless you have 3 TVs set up in your house, you can't watch all of the 24-hour news cycle that's going on.
Yeah,
so it does come down to getting the snippets and the sound bites and the little things on YouTube. Now, like you said, they always edit the crap out. CNN has stopped showing the Trump press conferences.
The Live Fest, yeah. It's a campaign rally for him. He's treating it as a campaign rally, dude. It's ridiculous.
Well, you know, it's what it's turned into.
Dude, I watched. Who's the little guy? Who's the little guy? The little sycophant who pulls his lips away from Trump's ass long enough to start saying things like, "We're going to do this in Trump time." I'm like, Trump time? Does that mean like 2 months if it happens at all? What the hell is he talking about?
Which one are you talking about? The doctor guy?
No, not the doctor guy. No, I kind of like the doctor guy. No, the other guy, the guy that came out the other day, and I was actually watching the whole thing because I was like, let me just tune in to see how bad it's actually gotten. And then the dude comes out and he's like, he coined the term Trump time. So, we're doing this in Trump time. It'll be done right away. Right. Of course. Yeah, Trump time is always right away. Of course it is. No, it's in 2 months if it happens at all. That would be a legal standard for Trump time if you're using it as trade. But no, they're just basically going out there and saying what and then he ended the whole thing with this. And this last little thing I want to point out is an anecdotal thing about how great Trump is. And he goes off on this like 5-minute story. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. There's people in this world, and this is what you've decided to share with them on all channels. Like it's a fucking like we're interrupt your whatever broadcast, your regular broadcast to show you this. This dude pulled his lips away from Trump's ass for like 5 minutes so the dude could talk. That's it. It's a human centipede part 3. He's the third segment. He wants to be. That's the guy who's up there talking. And then Jared Kushner, fuck him. What has he ever done? Well, he's got a worse business track record than Trump, and everything he's touched so far is gone to shit in government. And he shouldn't be there. He's fucking Trump's daughter. That's his qualifications for anything.
Well, he's also yeah.
Don't say real estate agent. I'll talk about the 666 building he bought. For what? Just to lose billions of dollars on? Yeah, dude. If it wasn't for the fact that they're siphoning money out of the American wealth, they'd be broke. They wouldn't be able to afford money to walk to a fucking soup kitchen.
I actually worked in the 666 building. Believe
How
it or
was it?
not, I didn't think it was that
I
great
like
of
the
a
name.
building. Yeah, well, that's the one thing I liked about it. Yeah, I mean, I was standing outside going like Iron Maiden, number of the beast, you know.
I lived alone.
Yeah, well, I worked in a lot of buildings in New York City because, well, I worked in one that I was a operating engineer at, but before that I had a job. I worked with like an electrical contractor, so I would have to go around to different jobs in different locations in New York City. So I got to see quite a bit of you know, the inner workings of how these places go. And you know that I didn't think that was that great of a building.
No.
And just from a standpoint of you know, really just basic construction and amenities that it had. You know, like one of the reason I think that the World Trade Centers came down was just because they were really piece of shit buildings, believe it or not. You know, I had a couple of friends. Actually, one of my friends got killed in the in Tower 2. But you know, I had a bunch of guys who were in my union, and you know, they was like, yeah, World Trade Center is a piece of shit. They should tear it down. And then guess what happens? They came down. So you know, you never.
Port Authority just lost its final appeal with the feds, dude. The buildings were full of asbestos. They had to come down anyways.
Yeah, well, you know, that was another thing. When I was working there like in the late 80s, early 90s. It was right before I went in the Army. And we had the asbestos abatement people, and most of them were like Eastern European, like a lot of Russian, Lithuanian people and things like that. And they would go in and they had like the showers set up and they'd have all their masks and stuff. As a matter of fact, I have a mask someplace that I got from one of the asbestos abatement people. They gave me because I had to walk through their area to do one of my checks. So they said, here's a mask, put it on. You probably won't get any asbestos on you. You know, if you do, it's probably not that big of a deal. And I was just like, okay, you know, who knows, 35 years from now, I'll get lung cancer. You know, well, I'll be dead 35 years from now. But, you know, I'll get lung cancer and I'll be able to blame it on that one, you know, micron of asbestos that I inhaled in 1989 and not, you know.
What, 35 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, 3 packs a day for, you know, how many years. So, you know, well, what am I going to blame it on? And what we have to do right now in this country is just stop blaming people. Stop, just everybody focus on, you know, staying home, cleaning your hands. You know, I mean, I'm sitting here touching my face, but I just got out of the bathtub, so I'm still pretty clean. You know, considering 2 hours.
It's not really blame. It's you have to blaming people when they're still coming out and doing the same thing every day. They're still coming on. Trump's still coming on and fucking misleading, giving misinformation out. No, there's no point of retraction. He hasn't apologized for anything. It's like if things are ongoing, like if somebody keeps stabbing you, you can't just say, well, what I need to do right now is heal. I need to heal even though I'm still being stabbed. You've got to look at it and go, okay, first thing, this motherfucker stop stabbing me. I mean, you're Rico learned that lesson. You won't heal while she's still stabbing you. You know, 11 times and you didn't hit her once. What the fuck? But
Yeah.
but no, that's one of our friends, a mutual friend of ours got the shit stabbed out of him one day. Couldn't have been a nicer person. But yeah, just kept getting stabbed and he wouldn't hit her and she didn't stop.
Yeah, if somebody's stabbing me, I'm gonna kind of lose.
It's the same thing. That's what it's with the everything that's going on. Like literally all the purchasing, all this shit. Kushner's been inserting himself into the supply chain everywhere he possibly could. It's like with Germany with the tests that they were trying to get, where he's like, oh, we'll manufacture tests, so those tests don't work. Every point that he can, he's putting himself in the chain of command, the chain of supply, and it's causing problems. So we need to actually, you know, address the serious fuck ups that are happening with the current administration. If you want to go back and charge the former administration with it, fine, also. But first, the current one, it's got to be focused on. And it's not a matter of just forgetting what they're doing, just forgiving them for what they've done. We need to stop them from all the shit they're still doing. Because right now, the feds the EPA just announced it was no longer going to enforce any environmental protection laws. How does that help with the coronavirus? They said, in response to coronavirus, we're going to stop testing anyone. Now, every corporation in this country can pollute any way they want to. And there's corporations that have things like, 2 billion gallons of VX gas ready to pour into the Delaware River. That they've been wanting to do for years, but they've been blocked in court by the EPA. They can now pour that starting tomorrow into the river. No, it's totally legal. So the EPA just stopped enforcing all environmental protection laws. That's
That's
fucking
so
huge.
stupid. That's so stupid because right now, our planet's like healing a little bit because
No,
there's the pollution, like the pollution's gone down, the temperatures have gone down in the oceans, the polar ice caps that are melting, because everybody's stopped, everybody's at a standstill because of this
I know.
virus.
So they're making up for that right now with the EPA. The Fed. Okay, since September 2019, the Fed has dumped like $29 trillion. Like this last one, the $6.5 trillion bailout, dude. They did $6.5 trillion in the last 6 weeks of 2019. They're owning the Federal Reserve actually owns 25% of all securities and treasury securities in this country right now because they bought up so much shit. They've been dumping money into the stock market at record pace for now the last fucking 6 months. And then the stock market crashes. Eventually, of course, it has to crash from this. They're something. I don't know exactly what they're doing and what they're doing with all the money, but the $29 trillion has just been created and dumped into things. If we had a zero-sum economy, we would be so much worse than the Weimar Republic was at the end of its run. Then if we had zero sum, and this money had any actual real value or issue of any kind, we would have so saturated the market with money because we've like tripled the amount of just currency that we believe is in existence at this point. Thankfully, we're not zero sum, but if we were, we'd be totally fucked because we'd be literally buying 3 beers because by the time we drink the first one, the second one would be going up in price. That's how bad. That's what they've been doing. And they've been doing this constantly, but they don't mention it to anybody. But they had to release it in their quarterlies. For the end of 2019, they released their numbers, and they're giving out half the shit. Like half the money that they're creating is going to foreign banks, foreign individuals, and then it's going into our stock market to buy up bullshit, so that people can get their stock back. They've already did the stock buyback, so all the stocks that the executives are selling are still worth something at this moment, but they won't be because this shit cannot continue. I mean, how many? That was 29 trillion, not counting the latest dump out because that was 500 billion capitalized, which means fractional reserve banking, it's 10 trillion they'll loan out. So this is ridiculous, but this is what's actually been going on. But
what you just said, I guess, I stepped on my camera again. God damn it. Anyway, there it is. What you just said kind of completely went over my head, but what was this?
Play back in slow motion later.
I'm going to. I have to. And I always do, just so I can. I had to watch your last video like 3 times before I got everything. I was like, okay, I totally.
You can actually on YouTube, you can just click a little button on the bottom of the little gear, and you can turn it to 0.5, and then it just plays it at half the speed, and then I sound like a normal person, kind of.
Okay, well that'll work. But you said something about the price of beer.
Yeah. If we had a zero-sum economy, which means that if for every dollar that was created, another dollar had to go away. If we had that type of zero-sum economy with $29 trillion being just created out of nothing and dumped into the economy to bolster whatever the fuck they're doing, we would have our inflation would be radically worse. I mean, way worse than the Weimar Republic right before Hitler took over. The depression in the Weimar Republic in Germany was so bad that I had a $10 trillion mark note once. It's printed out one side with one little spot because they couldn't afford the ink to print the whole paper. You'd go into a bar, and I've talked to people that were alive at the time. You go into a bar, and you'd go up and you'd order 3 beers because by the time you had this first beer, the second beer would have doubled in price. That's how fast inflation was going. We would be worse than that if we had a zero-sum economy right now because they're making money at a faster pace than Germany was.
So what you're telling me right now is I should go out and buy 3 times as much beer right now.
Yes, or just dump everything into Bitcoin at this point.
The American
dollar is eventually people will snap to everything that's been going on and it'll be rendered worthless because the only thing holding the American dollar up is literally belief in it. It's a faith-based currency.
Yeah.
Completely at this point. It has been for a long time. That's why I never felt bad, doing things that I did in the past.
Faith-based currency. Well,
we have a faith-based currency.
Yeah, what's good for all the, what about the people who are agnostics? What do they believe in?
I'm an agnostic. I'm a dollar agnostic. I don't believe in the dollar. I don't think it has any value whatsoever. And I think that it's just a tool of debt. That's all it is. So yeah, I'm an agnostic. Yeah. I'm bordering. I'm very, very, very close to becoming a dollar atheist.
Dollar atheist. All right. Yeah. I love that. Dollar atheist.
Get something that has some security and some value behind it. Go blockchain. Get yourself Ethereum. Get yourself Bitcoin. Trade your money into that because the dollar will be rendered useless.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Eventually. So listen,
I'm talking like 4 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Right. How and hence that's why I hedged my retirement fund with lead.
Yeah, the highest exchange rate of any metals. Yep.
It will have a high exchange rate. We'll be exchanging lead across the street with our neighbors soon.
Yeah.
I still want some plutonium.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come down to that, but yeah.
Well, in that case, then New Mexico becomes a world power. Woohoo!
Mexico becomes
New Mexico.
Oh, New Mexico. Right. Well, no, okay. So speaking of which, how much is gas there?
I have no idea.
Like $1.50 a gallon, if that.
It's $1.50 there.
Yeah,
Wow.
they gutted the market. Saudi Arabia gutted it. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because you know what's really funny? The first time I came out to see you, I was driving. Once I got past like Virginia, I got into Tennessee and Western Tennessee. I was driving around. Gas was $1.50 a gallon through Oklahoma, through Texas, through Arizona, Nevada. It was so cheap. California, it was a little bit more expensive. I think it was like in California, it might have been like $2.35. In New York, I think it was like $2.25. So right now, gas here is $2.25.
Mm-hmm.
There was one place I found $1.95. So you're saying it's $1.50 there. So we can expect gas prices to fall significantly now, probably in the next
They've been
couple.
falling. Saudi Arabia started, OPEC started just saturating the market with it a while ago. So that's basically what we're dealing with. This has nothing to do with the beer virus or with Biden or anybody else. Saudi Arabia is in a battle with Russia over a couple of things right now, mostly because they're for control of the Middle East since we pulled out. And Saudi Arabia decided to fuck Russia by dumping gas on the market like mad. So Russian oil isn't worth that much.
Well,
It's an economic battle between those two states.
The other thing, though, it comes to supply and demand.
That is supply and demand.
Well, but they increased the supply, but nobody's going any place in this country. Really, I mean, average civilian car traffic it's been cut probably by about, I would say 60% less traffic that I'm seeing than I had a month ago.
Yeah.
I drove down Route 28 the other day. I saw 2 cars and they were both sheriff's department SUVs. Okay. That's the only cars I saw between where I got on Route 28 by my house and got down into Cooperstown. Not too far, maybe about 13 miles. I saw 2 cars and they were both cop cars. Then when I got down to McDonald's, there was people lined up in a drive-through. God, there was probably 20 cars in the drive-through at McDonald's. So I just stopped and got a sandwich. They burnt my goddamn fries, which really pissed me off. I mean, French fries.
It's not food. It's pointless to argue about it.
Well, it was something because I didn't want to eat in my house, and it was like the only place that was open.
Yeah, that's considered essential. That's amazing.
The world is coming to an end when the only places that are open are like Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger Crud, Domino's, and now Papa John's. Did you see the no-touch pizza? We won't touch.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. How do you not touch a pizza?
How does that work? That's
I guess they put the pizza together. They take the dough, they put the sauce on it, they put the cheese and the pepperoni, but then they chuck it in an oven at like 450 degrees.
Yeah.
So that kills all the germs. And then when it comes out, I guess they don't touch it. When it comes out of the oven, they just throw it into the box, which is normally how they do it anyway.
Yeah. You don't normally touch the pizza. When I was doing pizza, I would touch it. That's only when I drop it off the peel and have to throw it in the box. But yeah.
Well,
when I worked at Papa John's, they have the conveyor that pulls the pizza through the oven, and you got to stand at the end of it to catch the pizza, or else it's going to hit the floor. They call it floor pies or whatever. Yeah. So I guess they've got people standing there with a box open, ready to catch the pizzas now.
Well, probably just a peel and then just move it in there. But nobody's touching pizza anyways. It's an advertising gimmick. Because you don't worry about them touching it. Touching it's fine. Coughing on it's a problem.
Right, and yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we're all sitting here coughing, but we don't have the beer virus. We have the I have the cigarette virus.
Oh, we have personalized lungs out here, so we're safe.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no.
Crystallized. Nothing's getting in through this, man. It's like glass.
Well, it's if you've noticed, I've shaved my chin off. Ginger, did you notice the hair on my chin?
Go ahead and compliment him real quick. He likes that.
Yeah. Well, I have a big chin. I don't know if you can see. I have a big chin. I have like this Quentin Tarantino-esque jaw thing going on. Except my chin sticks out where it's his whole jaw. But I did that because really, I have to, with the rubber and the gas mask, you want it to seal against your face, because you don't want to let any air. Well, I mean, in a chemical warfare environment, it's probably much more important than this. But these masks, the filters on them are rated for NBC, which is nuclear, biological, and chemical. So I'm pretty sure it'll be able to intercept the beer virus if somebody happens to sneeze on me. And that's why, I don't know if you heard the joke, why is there such a big toilet paper shortage?
Yeah.
Because every time someone sneezes, someone else shits themselves. So, you know, that's what's going on.
Yeah, I think that actually that joke started with Lee Camp.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, let's get off of this and creepy Uncle Joe. Can anybody explain to me who this Tiger King guy was?
No, I've never seen the show. I'm not watching it.
I have no idea.
I never saw it, but all this I never had any inkling of a clue of an idea who this guy was until about 5 days ago. And now even Master Ken did a video where he's being the Tiger King. He put on the blonde wig and everything like that. I guess this Tiger King guy, he was working in like a gay bar as a bouncer or something like that.
It's a documentary of some kind on Netflix. That's all I know.
But I guess what happened was he did like some whole big murder for hire thing, you know, or something like. And I guess he's in jail now.
I have no idea.
I don't know. So we're all clueless about the
Stupid fads. Yeah, I also didn't know what the hula hoop was, and I really don't care about Pokemon. Yeah,
Pokemon. Yeah, well, I don't. Yeah,
I got a pocket monster, but I'm gonna give it to a kid.
My kid, a pocket monster.
Are you talking about the Digimon thing, or the what is it? The Tamagotchi pets, the little digital keychain pet things.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember those. No.
What are some other great fads that have been around in that?
Toilet paper one's really freaking me out still because like stores are like the regular stores, like Walmart's a shit show, but the regular stores are just normal, except for the ramen aisle and the toilet paper aisle are just empty. It's like,
Yeah,
I'm assuming it has something to do with eating that much ramen, but I mean, in Albuquerque, everybody's been in prison, everybody's in jail here. What the fuck are they doing buying ramen? You're in jail. I'm like, I'm never eating ramen again.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
No.
Ramens can store indefinitely.
Still get rice.
Yeah, rice. Well,
Pasta,
when I went through my Walmart, there was no rice left on the shelf. They had some for storing. You want the white long grain rice. You don't want the brown rice because that has.
It's because you're racist. We already figured this out.
No, it's it's not because I'm racist against rice. I don't think it's possible.
You're racist. You're racist. Whatever.
Against rice. but there's some type of, I guess, oil that's in like brown rice that actually does
nutrition. It's called the nutrition, yeah.
But it doesn't store long term because it makes it go rancid. That's what.
Yeah. Over a long period of time, yeah. Yep.
So, but
one thing I noticed out of today when I went shopping, like I bought a couple of steaks, I got some produce, like all that stuff was still there, like the stuff that you could use on a regular basis. They were out of flour. There was no flour on the shelf at all.
Yeah, I stock up on flour too. Yeah.
Flour. I went. Oil. There was no flour. There was no rice. They still had cooking oil. They had
down to peanuts last time I went.
Well, when I went to my small grocery store here, we have. It's kind of like your Kroger's or whatever. Your Smith's. Yeah. It's called Price Chopper. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit fancier. It's like more nicely decorated and stuff like that. But basically,
you tell me Smith's ain't nicely decorated here? Come on.
No, Smith's is kind of like Price Chopper's actually.
We only went to the nice Smiths, man. The ghetto Smiths. There's two of them here. We should have gone to those. It's a wake-up experience.
Price Chopper's going, not quite Whole Foods that way, but it's a little nicer than your average A&P.
Yuppie-fied.
Or not yuppie-fied, but it's just like we're upstate New York, so
it's yuppie-fied.
Yeah, pretty much.
Burn that down along in Connecticut when the revolution comes.
The guy was restocking the butter, so I got some butter because I had to make butter, my special kind of butter that I enjoy so much.
The boy butter, the lube, it's terrible.
Right? Well, no, not for lube. No, for that I use the extra heavy-duty bearing grease. But we won't get into that right now at this moment. I went So I went and I looked I was looking for butter, so I got 3 pounds of unsalted butter, and the guy was actually putting it into the cooler, and I said, "Can you just toss me 3 pounds?" And he actually literally tossed it to me. I was like, "Thanks." They had bread back on the shelves, which was nice, so I got a couple of loaves of the Freihofers, Italian sliced bread. They call it. It's just basically white bread, but I like that because I make my grilled cheese sandwiches with tomato soup. That's kind of like, dinner on a Tuesday night or Monday night watching Better Call Saul. And there's this new show You'd like it. And one of the characters on it is actually, there's a trans character on the show. It's called Dispatches from Elsewhere.
I keep
And-
hearing about that show. It's supposed to be really good. Yeah.
It's really good. And the actress who plays Simone, her name is Eve Lindley, and she's really good actress. And she's actually trans. She's it's not like they have some cis female playing a trans woman. They actually have it. But the whole thing is, it's not. The whole show is not about that.
Yeah.
It's just she's a character who happens to be, as opposed to, oh, this is about my struggle and all this. It's actually about a group of like 4 people who they're I don't know if it's a game yet because it's only 4 episodes into it, but they're kind of like, they're trying to solve this mystery and they're looking for this girl and there's all these clues and you don't know who's on whose side. And so it's a pretty interesting show, but this girl's on it. And, I like the way they approached the subject matter. They didn't make it all about that. And for me, that's cool because it, obviously for me, trans people are just, other people, and treat them accordingly the way you would want to be treated.
It's nice, nice to not have them go, look, we have a training character. Look what we did. Look what we did. We're good. We're good. Yeah. They're doing that like as a PSA because one of the producers got busted beating one. Yeah. It's nice when they just actually just go, this is the way the world is.
What I've been binge watching lately is the Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's a great show.
That is a great show.
The 14th season, I totally didn't think that, Mac was going to come out as being gay on the show. Like, I totally didn't expect that. I knew he was kind of weird, but, and in real life,
he's totally gay. Come on, he's always been totally gay.
Yeah, like he tried to do the machismo thing or whatever for a minute, but in real life, he's actually married to the girl that is Dee, that plays Dee.
I know they're married, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're
The
married.
blonde girl, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
she was on that show, The Mick. She had another show called The Mick, which lasted 2 seasons. It wasn't that great. It was kind of funny, but whatever.
I'm a big fan of Always Sunny though. That whole
that show's hilarious. That show is awesome.
Always
catch up on
Sunny.
it.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia went for 14 seasons.
It's still
going, isn't
going. It's still going. Yeah.
Still going.
Yeah, it's still going.
Didn't they stop it for a while and then start it again?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
It's been going this whole time.
Really? And what's her name? God, the one who plays the blonde chick. What's her name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody Google it for me. Maybe I'll Google it. What's it?
No, because you lean too close.
What?
You can see up your nose here. You can see up your nose when you lean in that close to the screen.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe if I go down like this. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Not
go
really
down.
helping.
Hold on. I got it.
I got it.
Okay. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Who plays her? What's her name? Caitlin. Not Caitlin. No.
Caitlin Olsen.
Caitlin Olsen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. Caitlin Olsen. She was on that show, The Mick. I like her. I think she's cute.
Yeah, she's also hilarious.
Yeah, she's very funny. And the other 2 guys, Charlie and what's his name?
Dennis.
Yeah.
Rob McElhenney, Glenn Howerton, and Charlie Day. I'm
Yeah,
looking at
right.
the IMDb right now. Yeah.
They're really funny. Actually, I should watch that. You know what? They gave us free Showtime on our Spectrum.
That's nice.
Yeah, for the
Stay asleep,
duration.
America. Sit on the couch. Let everything happen to you.
Oh, I know.
That's Showtime.
They sent out a thing earlier too that HBO has a bunch of free stuff going on too. I don't usually watch TV. I do I've got Xfinity Stream so I can watch it on the projector on the wall because we don't even own a TV.
Yeah.
Really? But you have a projector, you can project it on the wall?
Yeah, it's kind of awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I don't
Don't you
really
have
have
to move down all the little models and stuff though? All the little action figures?
Huh?
Don't you have to move down all the little action figures and stuff off the
No,
wall?
we have the one spot cleared for the projector on the
Okay,
wall.
cool.
That way it fits like perfectly in between all the posters and all the action figures and yeah. I love my apartment. It's awesome.
It is Go Apartment, yeah.
I don't have any wall space to project on. All my walls are covered in guitars and other things.
Mine too.
Yeah, it's like, you know.
I got a huge
Every
white-
Every other inch of our apartment is covered in movie posters and action figures, comic book characters, the Avengers,
Still in
Spider-Man.
the box. Still in the box.
Yeah.
What kind of action figures do you collect?
It's my
Oh.
boyfriend that actually collects them, and he collects everything from the Avengers, DC, Ninja Turtles, all the Spider-Man, just all of it.
Does he collect Star Wars?
No.
I've been collecting Star Wars since my kid was a little kid, so for about 20 years. So I have outside on my porch just ones that have been opened that he's played with, probably 500 Star Wars action figures.
Wow.
So yeah, I've got time. I've got
Don't you celebrate the 4th of July out there? That's what happened to all mine. I found M80s, and that was it for Han Solo.
Yeah, right. No, well, I have my original Star Wars figures from like 1979. I still have like my original dozen of them, and I have the small head Han Solo. Of course, they don't have teeth marks in them. They have been played with quite a bit because I mean I still play with them, but don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Robbie still sits in his desk playing with his action figure, and anyway, the funny thing is when you couldn't see my hands under the camera, I was actually sitting here cleaning one of my guns. While you guys were talking, I'm just sitting there like, oh, yeah.
It goes off, then yeah. If the gun you're cleaning in your lap goes off, it just
Right, and you'll be calling me Stubby when I shoot my dick off with it, but
Cheddar Bob.
right? So okay, so Ginger, you're dealing with this personally. How are you dealing with it? We need the opinion of someone who's not us, and since we're the only two people in the room besides you, I want to ask you, how have you been dealing with just sitting at home aside from binge watching TV and stuff like that? I mean, what are you doing to keep from going crazy?
Actually, I've been concentrating a lot on getting my website up and going, which I've done. It's up and going, and I've been trying to generate, some kind of revenue from that because I do graphics design.
Yeah.
I do tattoos. I spent yesterday tattooing. I don't know if I can show. I spent yesterday tattooing my daughter. It's a picture for my daughter that she kind of designed.
Yeah.
And I went live on Instagram and did the tattoo live on Instagram. Just the outline. I've still got to go do another session to put color in it and everything. But,
and you you tattooed yourself?
Yes, I do it quite often. I did a lot of my tattoos myself.
That's amazing. That's just amazing that you tattoo yourself. So what are you going to color it in and everything now?
Yeah, my daughter had picked out the colors that she wants for some of the characters. So I'm going to color part of it, and then the rest of it I'm doing like a kind of a watercolor paint splatter like look to it. So it's going to look like a bunch of paint splatter dropped on it, kind of with just a bunch of different colors. It'll be cool when I get it done.
Nice. Well, next time I come out, I'm going to have you ink me up something. I have to get something done by you because
for sure.
I meet people and just that I like, and I'm like, hey, cool, you do tattoos? Yeah, do me one. I don't care. Put something on. I mean, I don't have too much. I don't have too much ink on me. Well, you see my arms. I've got a couple of smaller things, so it's not like I'm just covered in ink. But where I'd sit down, let some biker sit there in the biker club, just engraving my, putting a picture of Jesus. I had this one biker friend. His name was Suds. This is a real long time ago. And they were sitting they were a club called the Rogue Animals in Brooklyn. And he was sitting there and, the one guy was tattooing. He says, I want a tattoo. He says, I want a picture of Jesus, but not like what he looked like. I want a picture of what Jesus would look like now, so you got like this, like a Jesus corpse, tattoo, but these guys were covered in ink. So, I mean, one little ugly tattoo was not going to, make these guys any uglier. Of course, these guys were the scariest bunch of motherfuckers you have ever met in your life. Nicest bunch of guys though. They liked me. I'm not in contact with any of them on Facebook, but we did a benefit, like I think in 1986 for the Hells Angels 82 crew. We played this benefit that the Rogues threw for them at their clubhouse. And the guys, the guys never forget. They're like, we remember you playing that be-nefit. You guys really helped us out playing that, and this is over 30 years ago. This is like 1980, this is almost 35 years ago. And the guys still remember when you did them a solid. So those biker guys, you'd say what you will about them. I think they're a bunch of freaking stand-up guys. And,
My dad's the president of Sons of Sedition in South Carolina or North Carolina. He's the only one out there with a 1%er patch and a bottom rocker. So, yeah, I know about the whole MC thing, and The bikers, they live by a code that I respect. That I think that I don't know. I've never had a problem with any bikers. They're straight up people, and they look out for their own, and they look out for each other, and that's
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, they do a big thing here every year. They do this big I don't know, pit run thing. They actually do a pit run for one of the troopers who got killed here in the line of duty. This guy's name was Ricky Parisian. He was a state trooper, and he walked when they still had a grocery store in the South Side Mall. He walked in there, and this dude was robbing the place. Of course, Ricky forgot to bring his gun, or he didn't have his gun on him. So this dude shot him. The funny thing about it was, right before it happened, and it's not funny, but it's ironic that me and my friend Bonnie, we were in there buying like chips and beer and crap like that, because it was like, I think, a Friday night. And we walked in a grocery store just to get munchies and food and, you know, crap, because we were going to pre-party and then we were going to go out, you know, because you want to have at least a 12-pack down your throat before you go to the bar, you know, this way you're good and gassed up. So we were in there, and I had just come from, there's this gun shop down there going towards Davenport, and I had actually had 2 guns on me at the time, you know, because I had just gone to the shop. So I had my 9mm hanging in my belt, and I was wearing actually this big 357 Magnum 6-inch barrel in a shoulder holster under my jacket. And I'm like, you know, because you have to carry it on you. If it's concealed carry, you can't just, well, I mean, I guess I could have left it locked in the car and stuff like that. And normally I wouldn't have been carrying 2 guns, but we walked into the store and I was like, I'm carrying 2 free guns. Wouldn't you know, like literally a half hour after we left, this dude walks in with a shotgun and fucking robs the place and shoots this trooper. And I'm just like, God, if we'd only been there like a half hour later, I might have been, and with a 6-inch 357, I'm pretty sure I could have hit this guy right in his freaking head before he killed that poor cop, you know? And it was a really sad thing. But anyway, they have a big pit run for him every year. The bikers all come out. Everybody with the motorcycle comes out. They do the one group, they did this thing for Locks of Love. My friend Travis, he was with them. This guy had hair down to his ass, and he had beautiful hair. And the next time I saw him, he had like a buzz cut. I'm like, what did you do to your head?
My dad and them did the Locks of Love run too.
Yeah.
Because my dad had really, really long hair, and he had donated it for the Locks of Love. That he chopped all his hair off, and it's grown back now. But yeah, he chopped his hair off for the Locks of Love. That's one of the runs that they did. We used to do the rallies when I remember doing the rallies when I was a kid, and we travel all up and down the East Coast from Florida all the way to New York and all the way back down.
Did you ever go out to Sturgis or anything like that?
I've never been to Sturgis. I just did the runs on the East Coast with my dad and them. They did the Cherokee Choppers Rally, which is the big rally out in North Carolina. It's down in Cherokee, North Carolina. That's the biggest one that they did. That's the one that I remember the most. That was my favorite.
Well, if next time they have something like that, let me know, because I'd love to cover it for my YouTube channel. You know, just say, hey, I'm here with a bunch of people riding motorcycles. How you feel about, you know, just something for content. No,
the rallies is actually what got me into doing tattoos when I was a kid, because there was a tattoo artist out there that my little sister, we had went and he tattooed my little sister her first tattoo. And he had his own shop it was like an RV, and he was doing tattoos out of the RV at the bike rallies. And I thought that was the coolest thing. And I was like, I bet you I could do that one of these days. And that's how I got started doing tattoos.
Getting tattooed in an RV. Well, hey, you know, I've had tattoos done, never in an RV. I had this one guy in Vermont. He was called Viking Tattoos. And I just had to get tattooed by him because he was called Viking, and I love Viking stuff. Anything Viking, I'm a huge fan of. So I went in, and he actually did. I'll show you the one he did on this arm. He put my little. It's upside down, but can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. Oh wait,
Yeah.
wait. Oh, I can't bend my arm. Anyway, he did that, and he totally screwed it up, and I was like, what? So he just on the 4. If you can see the 4, right? Can you see the 4 there?
Yeah.
He just kind of like it was supposed to have a little curve, so he just made it straight. I was like, okay, you know, it's my arm. And it's going to be there forever. But hey, do what you want, you know, whatever makes you feel good about yourself. While, you know, he did actually match match
I mean-
the red, but what?
I missed the beginning of the story, but did you actually go? Can you get some numbers right here? Did you actually?
Yeah. I got
Seems
my
kind of
little.
crass. Seems a bit crass. Yeah.
It's a 417. You know how some people get like what's the area code by you?
505.
505. Right. What's 702 is Vegas, right?
I think so.
Well, I've seen guys, and everybody's always like, ask me 417. What they're like, what area code is that? You know, and I was doing dishes at a Thanksgiving dinner at my mother's church one time, and this lady says 417. She says, "Oh, I know what that means." And I go, "You do really?" She goes, "Yeah, it's for pot." And I go, "No, you idiot. That's 420." People don't know
Three
that-
short. You're coming to 3 short. Yeah, it's sad.
Right. Well, 417, believe it or not, is actually the page from the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous that says acceptance is the answer to all my problems. Okay.
Oh,
And
nice.
you can look it up. Yeah. And I got that. So basically, acceptance is the answer to all our problems. Is it good or bad? No, it's simply how it is right now. And everybody,
I got C'est la vie right here on my chest. That's what C'est la vie is. That's life. Deal
really,
with it. Yeah.
let me say,
It's-
well,
Right
don't
here?
get undressed, but, oh, okay. I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
c'est la
I see.
vie. It's French, but it means that pretty much that's life. It is what it is. Deal with it. You can't
Well-
change it. You might as well accept it.
Right, and that's exactly what the situation is now here in the United States of America. Fuck yeah. So anyway,
Americans, fuck yeah. Oh.
remember that Team America World Police? That's one of my favorite.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite movies too.
Well, you know,
What's Godwin's worthless?
well they actually stole that from this old show that was on when I was a little kid, like a baby. I used to watch. It was called Thunderbirds. Okay, and it was done in it said filmed in super marionation, and it was just basically marionettes and their mouths moved and they talk. And it was about this family, the Tracys, and they were the international, like the IRF, the International Rescue Force or whatever. And they had all their different rescues, and they had all these cool little vehicles they drove. And, you know, they went into volcanoes, and the guy came up and a little puppet had his face all bandaged up. It was, I don't know, you'll have to look it up. It's on YouTube. They have a bunch of episodes.
I've seen it,
Actually,
yeah.
if you want to binge watch something, that would be fun to binge watch because there is a site up that has every episode of Thunderbirds on it. And that's what I probably should do is just go back.
I want to see. I want to see Thunderbirds versus Thundercats. That'd be way better.
Well, yeah, that would be. They
Gay
actually,
feline people versus marionettes. Oh my god.
Like the
String.
MTV, the Celebrity Deathmatch style.
Yeah.
well, that
Yeah.
was more claymation. This was actually marionettes. These were actually puppets that they had.
Like Team America. Yeah.
Yeah, like Team America. So I don't know. Maybe that's what I should go and start binge watching right now. But I know we're coming about 20 minutes till 12, so we're coming about to the end here.
Yep. I gotta feed my kids here shortly. Yep.
She's got to go feed her kids. Ginger, you have anything you'd like to add? You want to plug your website?
Yeah, GG'sGraphics.com. I'm doing right now because of all this craziness. I'll do any graphic image that anybody wants, 50% off of what I would normally charge. Like right now, just because I need the business, because I don't qualify for unemployment at this point in time. They said that they're supposed to be paying it to people that are self-employed, but it's not happening. So yeah, I need any kind of income that I can get. So 50% off.
Spell the domain. Spell the domain real quick.
GGSGRAPHIX.com.
Andy, do me a favor. Put it into the description. Put a little link to her.
I
in the
will.
description.
Yeah, I will.
And I do everything from pencil sketch, I paint, I can tattoo, I do tattoo flash. If you got a design you want to take to your tattoo artist locally or whatever, I do tattoo flash. I do photo manipulation, retouching. I can do digital graphics like logos and stationery, banners, website, flyers, whatever. I can do all that too. Just anything, but it's original. So you describe your details to me, tell me the message you want to send out to the world, and I'll put it in a visual and send that message.
Cool. Well, it sounds like this beer virus is actually putting a hurting on you and your business, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's not good.
It's affecting everybody. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, everyone, hang in there, guys. I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in for the one person watching now. Oh, Hey, Richard, Orderine, Uncle Robbie, Richard's here. All right, yay. We got somebody in the chat. Richard, I didn't even notice. So how you doing, Rich?
My daughter tuned in for a minute too.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Well, I got Richard here. That's cool. Yeah, we're great, Richard. I wasn't even looking at somebody has to watch that and let me know when people are here. But so we're coming about to the end of the broadcast now. We usually go between like, an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending. So we've been on around an hour and 40 minutes. Andy, you got anything you'd like to add?
No, yeah, I'm not going to plug my own website. I'm just going to plug websites to get actual information about the world right now.
Okay.
Go to Google Wall Street on Parade would be the best one for figuring out what the Fed's actually doing. They're actually solid on tracking the Fed, the money they're spending, the trillions that they're dumping into the economy right now. Well, that's Wall Street on Parade. Be that one, and then also for just basic news for shit that's not being covered on the MSM, like we said with the Biden stuff. Go to Redacted Tonight, Lee Camp. That's covering all of it. And he's pretty much on every day now discussing something or other, but the show's on like Fridays, I think. So I always watch it just on YouTube, so I don't know which day it actually plays, but there's a few episodes of the show on, and yeah, check that out because that's he's covering what's really going on in the world right now, which most people aren't.
Okay, well, great. So I want to thank everybody who's here. Richard, thank you for watching, and everybody, one person. I got two notifications. Let me see what's my other notification. Oh, Sienna Grace is live. Okay, well, that's cool. I was live streaming while she was live streaming. That's what came up in my thing. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you all. Andy, keep on, well, get ready to roll the outro, and everybody, once again, keep on rocking in the free world. Love you, baby. Thanks for making this show possible.
See ya.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye. Are we gonna roll the
I'm gonna do the outro right now. Just
Yeah,
it's
roll
not really
Just
set up
'cause-
right this second. Give me just 1 second.
Okay, just because it's
Okay.
really cool.
I'm gonna
And
mute you
it's-
though. I'm gonna mute you though, just so there's no talking at this point. Mute. Ginger. Mute. Then share. Share.